It is an absolutely beautiful day here in Southeast Alabama. I'm in Midland City. It's April 5th, and I'm excited to get in these colonies here. I'm also a little bit nervous. These are the colonies that Ray and I broke down to find a place for sales 4 weeks ago today. Frankly, I'm not anticipating a really great take. For some reason, some of the other ones I've checked in have not been all that great. Although I was encouraged up at the farm a little while ago, had a pretty good take up there. Whether or not the queens in these colonies are queens they made on their own, if they did not accept the sales, or queens from the sales, I really don't care at this point. I just need queen right colonies. All right, here's some boxes to stack up if we need to stack some honey supers on today. I plan on putting a few of these on, if not here, somewhere. I've already stacked a few up at the farm. Here's the bee yard. We got bees right here. Looking happy. We got bees flying from the different colonies, so we'll see. Have no idea what we're going to find in here. I hope the results are better than I anticipate. Now, I came out a couple of weeks ago and peeked in on some of these and went ahead and pulled the cell protectors out. Didn't see a lot of success, but 2 weeks in, you can't always tell what the final result is going to be. It's possible that they did not accept the cell, but they made their own queen. So let's just see what we have here. We got a fair number of bees in the hive already. Remember, some of these were blind splits where we just didn't really look for the queen. We just kind of pulled the split off. This is actually a double medium box that we took off here. Probably just took it off the top of one of those other stronger colonies over there. Just want to see some eggs and brood. That's my hope. They're definitely putting honey in, or nectar. It's nectar all through here. Not any type of significant population though up in this top box. So if we don't have eggs and brood in here by now, then it was probably a fail, and I do anticipate seeing some of those today. Let's go in that bottom box. The bees don't seem overly agitated, which you might expect if they were queenless, but I'm not seeing really any evidence of brood unless we got some eggs in this box down here. We might be stacking this one on another colony. Yeah, I'm afraid it's kind of what I was thinking of. Yep, this was a fail, I'm pretty sure. Oh, there's a little queen right there. So they've made their own little queen. Little virgin queen. She's tiny though. Not sure where she would have come from. I might just give them another week and see what happens. If no eggs in a week, they're getting stacked somewhere. Because see, there's a decent number of bees. They seem pretty calm. But this is all probably just from brood that's emerged since we made those splits. So that may not be the right thing to do. And many of you may say just dump them or whatever. But I'm going to give her a chance. Oops. I did see a little virgin queen. I'm almost out of my black nitrile gloves. I really don't like beekeeping gloves much. They're just so bulky and just really don't have a choice, I don't think, but to wear gloves today. I'm actually seeing a little brood in here, I think. The bees aren't excited to see me though. Let's see what we find. Oh yeah. Looks like this one was successful. We do have brood, which means there's either been a queen in here recently or there's one, hopefully there's one now. Oh yeah. Good to see. Nice brood pattern. Doing well. So this colony is queen right. Look at that. They're in good shape. Wow. Yep. That's really all I have to see right there. That'll work. These frames over here are not really full of anything right now, so she's just kicking it off and getting going and catching her stride, and hopefully she'll be really catching her stride here when the honey flow hits, and I'm sure she will. We've had a little bit of I wouldn't call it a dearth, but things have slowed down a little bit here for the last few days, but I think we're about to really just explode with the honey flow. I'm going to put a check mark if they're queen right And then if we find some that are not queen right, I can just come and stack some of them on some of these queen right colonies, and the bees can move up and make honey in the boxes I stack. Oh wow, this one's looking good, at least as far as population goes, and they've been putting in some wax here, so maybe they're going to be just fine. These bees seem calm, they seem happy, and there's a fair amount of population in here, so I'm guessing we're going to see evidence of a queen. Yeah, there is milk brood all through here, and a fairly new larvae. See eggs right there. Honestly, that's all I need to see to know we're queen right. Don't have to see the queen. Oh, all through here, same thing. We got milk brood. And I think we're in really good shape with this colony. So I'm gonna make sure we end up with some honey boxes on this one for sure. Yeah, see we got brood right there. So this one's doing pretty good. The brood pattern is not perfect, but we do have brood, and so we're gonna have to let it roll. Just for fun, let's go in the bottom box and see what it looks like. Now this is once again a double medium. When we pulled those splits, if you go back and watch that video, I explained how we did a lot of these splits where we had these monster colonies stacked up with, some had like 4 boxes on them. And so I just pulled, some of them I just pulled the mediums off if they had brood in there. And we just made some double medium splits in this bee yard. This one was actually a 9-frame, what used to be a honey box it looks like. So I want to reverse these boxes if nothing else, and then they can turn this into a honey box actually. It's probably got a new queen in there. Maybe she's just getting going. She got a little brood in there. There's really not a lot going on in this bottom box. So that leads me to believe that it was a successful cell take, even though I haven't actually seen the queen and there's no way to know for sure. Reverse these boxes and rock and roll. It's always a good idea to have a bucket handy to save some of this burr comb like this, because this new comb like this turns into really nice wax. Some of the older darker stuff isn't near as nice, but some of this stuff like this right here will turn into real pretty wax, so you can process it and not just waste the efforts of the bees. All right, we're gonna let them rock on and see what happens. I really anticipate there being some incredible growth in these colonies real soon. Now they're catching their stride a little bit, and once everything starts blooming. Another thing to remember too, when we pulled these splits over here, the foragers probably went back over to those colonies over there where they came from. They're only, what, 10, 12 feet away, some of them. So yeah, see this one's obviously not a success. It's basically a dead out. Okay. That's okay. You anticipate some of that when you do things like this. Oh, look at these girls. I think we have us a queen in this one. What do you think? Look at all that beautiful white wax. They're definitely going to need some more space, I think. When you open a colony and see this, it's a pretty good bet. They're queen right and they're happy and they're doing well. Yeah, man, they've actually put honey up in here. Look at this. Got a little honey rim up here. We got brood right here. So yeah, this colony I think is just doing great already. Let's see what the bottom box looks like. This is a double medium again. I think these bees are doing just fine. What do you think? They need some more space. Look at that. Wow. Yep, we got us a queen in here. Look at that. Wow. Happy bees, doing a good job. So what I'm going to do with this one, because they look like they're going to be very strong, hopefully, I'm going to put that last hive that was a dead out, I'm just going to stack both of those boxes on top of here and see what they do with it. I would be looking more for the queens, but I don't have I can't find my green marker that I have, and I want to mark the queens. And so, I mean, if I see the queens and I can't mark them, it'll be fine, but I'll go back through in more detail when I have my marker and see if I can find them and get them marked. Good stuff though, I'm excited about that. That's cool. Yeah, they're ready to explode. I think I'm actually going to put the deep box on the bottom and see if they'll move down into that, and if they don't, that's okay, and then I'll put the medium box on top. And we'll use that one for honey. There's the deep box from the one that didn't take. There's the medium that's full of brood. This medium that's got a fair amount of honey in it and some brood. And this medium, it's got 9 frames in it. Hopefully they'll fill it up with honey as well. 9 frame spacer here. And we'll see what they can do with it. Here's a little swarm that I caught. It was a week ago tonight actually. It was after dark, just a little swarm. It was probably, 15 feet up, 12, 15 feet up. I used my bucket swarm catching device, and it was really pretty small. And some folks I knew called me about it and went and caught them, and let's just see how they're doing. We got, just the bees on this frame. This is the second frame over. I just kind of stuck the bees in this box and didn't look for the queen or anything. Just brought them out here. It was nighttime and set them down, and there's a beautiful queen right there. So it's a small swarm, but she's laying it up. It's obviously a mated queen. And you just never know what's going to happen with swarms like this. Sometimes they do really well. I've had some swarms that were small to medium in size that really just exploded and did a great job. So I'm going to kind of just leave them alone and see what they do. Not going to get too worried about if they don't do great, but who knows, maybe we got some really nice genetics. It was in an area where I've never really caught a swarm or caught bees before, so we'll see how they do. Of course, this yellow frame here probably wasn't super well waxed. That's just what I had at home. Who knows if they'll even draw it out decent, but we're going to let them do their thing. Excited to see them doing well. And they got some serious work to do, but maybe they'll do great. Let's go through one more here, and then I'm going to hit it hard. I just thought I'd give you a nice little idea of kind of what's going on with these, and thought it'd be good to actually go through these that were the ones we split away from the original locations here, and see how they're doing. See, we got a mixed review so far, and that's kind of what I expected. Not as good as I'd hoped, but actually kind of what I expected. I'm just glad we got some queens in some of them anyway. These bees have a little honey in here. We've got a few bees. Not super populated though. Yeah, we've got some milk brood in there, so these bees might have just made their own emergency queen, or if we got some actual brood in here, it was probably from the cell, but if it's, well, we do actually, so maybe the cell took. How about that? Yep, look at that brood. Either way, we're definitely queen right. Look at that beautiful frame of brood. Wow. Okay. And see, here's what, you just got to be careful sometimes if you go in a colony and they're not quite where you want them to be. If you think they're queenless or you're just not sure, sometimes it's wise just to leave them alone for a little while and see what happens. Even if you introduce a cell to a colony and you go back in 2 weeks and you don't see a queen in there or eggs, possibility they just make their own. And I don't know, I can't remember when I peeked in on these a couple of weeks ago if this colony actually had brood in it or not. There's the queen. Oh, she's a beautiful one. She's a new one, I think, one of the new ones. Beautiful little blonde queen. She doesn't have the brown thorax, so I don't think she's Cordovan. Maybe she's got part Cordovan, but she's beautiful, yellow, easy to see, and she looks really young. So I'm pretty sure she's one of the cells that took. So it's always wise, I think, to be a little bit patient if you can be. I don't get too bent out of shape if I don't see new queens or eggs within 10 days to 2 weeks like some people tell you. Some people live and die by that, and that's fine, but in my experience, it never hurts to be a little bit patient. This is pretty exciting stuff. So I'm definitely gonna put a honey super on here, let them start working their way up, and I think this hive will explode. And you saw there's at least four solid frames of brood, so these bees are gonna explode really fast. So the takeaway from this, from what we've gone through today, and even from what I saw up at the farm this morning, is it never hurts to be a little bit patient. The honey super situation in the trailer is much less. We actually had quite a good result out here. Most of these had queens in them. You can see I've stacked some of these up with supers. I was really worried we were gonna have really bad results, but man, overall they looked pretty good. I think there were only 3 or 4 of them that I went ahead and just shut down and decided not to keep queenless or whatever, just kind of shook the bees out, put them on different boxes or etc. There were a couple that I've got to watch on. The very first one we went through over there on the corner, with the green box on top. And then the very last one I went through down here was kind of a similar situation. It was right over here, the smaller colony right here. Question mark on there, just not sure. I think you have a total of 22 colonies out here right now, plus the little swarm over there I showed you. And while I was out here, one of these colonies swarmed. Let's see, I think it was this one right here swarmed, I believe. The swarm landed right over here in a tree. Didn't get that on camera, but they were up about right up in this area, right up in here. And I caught them in my Apamay box right here. I'm just gonna let the box sit there, let them settle in. Right there on that limb, caught them right here. So we'll just let them sit here for a few hours. I may come back this evening or in the morning, move them back over here with the rest of the bees. Overall, real excited about how they're doing. I feel much better after going through the bees at the farm, and these bees today, the take was actually quite good, much better than I anticipated. So sometimes you just gotta be a little patient, wait a little while, see what happens. And sometimes the bees will surprise you with how well they take care of themselves, and sometimes you do have to do some things to manipulate them and fix them. But pretty good day if you ask me. I'm excited, and you can see we're gonna have some honey on these bees right here. There's some of them that had a fair amount of honey in there. It's almost totally clear. I think it's possibly blackberry honey because there's quite a few blackberries blooming all around here, so maybe that's what it was. I don't see much else blooming, but I'm excited, y'all. I was getting worried and concerned about the beekeeping season, but I think it's gonna end up being okay. I'm gonna put the video where Ray and I broke out these splits right here. Y'all take care. We'll catch you next time.